How big are your bits? Are your bits set correctly? The reason I'm asking is I didn't realise that the Altair 269C camera needs to be set to the correct bit scaling. And I didn't know this. And it's really important. If you look here, this is nicked, I'm afraid, from the website for Nina. And it says here that for DSLRs, they're set to 16-bit. Okay, so they automatically default to 16-bit. But for the ZWO, QHY, and a few others, they are rescaled by the camera drivers. But for TubeTech, RisingCam, Altair, and a load of others, SB Bernie, the camera driver does not scale the bits, which means that you have to do it in your astronomy software. I didn't know this. This is really important because the Altair 269C camera has a 12-bit sensor, but it outputs 16-bit. So basically, your bit depth is dictating the dynamic range of your images. So how big the blacks are compared to the whites, and so on and so forth, and the detail of the image. Now, it's really important that you set your bit rate to scale with a camera from these makes. Now, I apologize, lovely Nina people. I nicked this from your website. So basically, if we go into APT, here we are in APT, I have connected to my imaging computer, and then you go down to your camera tab, and then settings, you need to click enable bit scaling. And what it does, if you have 16-bit, which is that big, and it's a 12-bit sensor, which is that big, so basically it scales the 12-bit to 16-bit. And then you're using the full dynamic range of 16-bit. On the other cameras, they do that automatically. So that's the ZWO ones and so on. In Nina, it's very similar but slightly different. In Nina, once you have connected your camera, what you have to do is go down to Options, Equipment, and under the camera settings, the advanced settings here, you want to switch on Enable Bit Scaling. This is really important because otherwise your images are all going to be squashed. So if your 16-bit container is that big, your 12-bit will be squashed into a smaller space within the 16-bit container. Whereas what you want it to do, you want the software to expand the 12-bit into the 16-bit container. I didn't know this, but now I do, which is great. So basically, something else I've learned this week that I wanted to share, and I hope it's useful to someone out there, because it was to me and I didn't know. So there we go, something new. Yay!